Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. The region of Tuscany in central Italy is famous for its magical landscapes of rolling hills and medieval hilltop towns. The Tuscan countryside is a beautiful, vast green region dotted with farmhouses, olive groves, vineyards, and the iconic cypress trees. Its ancient medieval cities are rich in culture and history and offer stunning views of the valleys spreading out around them. I visited the region of Vald'orcia, the most scenic area in all of Tuscany, which truly looks like the picture-perfect postcard image of Tuscany with its cypress-studded landscapes and romantic ancient villages. This is the main street which runs through the town of Montepulciano, and it's very beautiful. There's lots of little small wine shops here because, of course, Montepulciano is famous for its red wine, the Nobile di Montepulciano, which is beautiful. So you can just kind of pop in, you can try the wine before you decide what to buy. It's such a nice town. It's a very kind of medieval feel to it. But you got some real gems, like this beautiful church, for example. It's absolutely stunning. Very, very beautiful architecture here in Montepulciano. It's kind of a blend between the medieval and the Renaissance, because, of course, this region, Tuscany, is famous for the Renaissance. This is the main plaza of Montepulciano. So you've got the cathedral, which is quite unique because the facade of the cathedral was never finished. It's kind of just all exposed brickwork. And you've got the fortress, which is pretty cool. Reminds me of the Palazzo Vecchio in Florence. So just a really beautiful plaza. Lots of little places to sit and have a drink and something to eat and some live musicians. It's just really, it's such a sort of idyllic, relaxed town in Tuscany. This is one of the viewpoints from the town of Montepulciano because it's on a hill. So it's got really prime views over the Tuscan landscape, and views from this one are beautiful. It really shows off why the Tuscan landscape is so unique, especially because you have the very symbolic or very quintessential cypress trees, standard Tuscany postcard landscapes, lots of these trees. It's a breathtaking view. The rolling hills surrounding Montepulciano are covered with vineyards producing the region's prized red wine, the Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, and I decided to visit one of the area's vineyards to savour the flavours of this delicious product whilst taking in the idyllic views. I have just arrived at the winery. This one is called Gladiator, and there are so many vineyards just dotted around outside of the town of Montepulciano. So I'm really looking forward to trying what their red wines taste like. The views from this winery are stunning. So you just get to see all of the vineyards, and I'm going to be trying 3 of their Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. So the youngest is 2018, the oldest is 2016. Also a spread of very typical Tuscan cheeses and salami, which look beautiful too. And some of the very typical snacks. They've also got their own olive oil, this winery. So we've got some crispy kind of crostini breads with olive oil that they produce. So I cannot wait to try the wine.
This is the regular Nobile 2018.
Great.
Very good.
This middle wine, which is the 2016 Riserva, and it's aged in French oak barrels, smells really strong of ripe kind of red and black fruits, I'd say, almost like cherries, plums, raspberries. The aroma is just fantastic. I just love that. You really do have those hints of cherries, almost slightly herbaceous too, because of course, you know, this beautiful countryside, there's lots and lots of Mediterranean herbs that are growing here too. So I feel like you get that when you know, try these wines. So I came down to the vineyards for a little wander. So here you can really see up close the grapes that they're obviously using to produce this gorgeous Nobile de Montepulciano. Of course, you can even eat them. So I'll just try one. So sweet, beautiful. I just love all the little wine shops in Montepulciano, and the cool thing is most of them offer worldwide shipping. You just need to go on their website and order it, and it will probably be waiting for you when you get home. So I have an amazing discount to offer you in this video. I've got 10% off for Squarespace. They're an online website design service. They have so many beautiful ready-made website templates. And if, for example, you have something that you're selling, any physical goods, digital content or services, they have beautiful e-shop templates. So all you need to do is just go online, and the whole process to set up your website using one of their ready-made templates is really intuitive. You can easily replace the images from their e-store website template with your own ones. Then, to start selling goods, you can edit the existing items in the template to match your own inventory. And you can simply change the prices you want to charge per item. And there you have it. In a matter of minutes, you have a beautiful tailored website to start selling your goods. What's great with these e-shop templates is that Squarespace also have very powerful payment tools which allow your clients to pay in a variety of ways, like PayPal, credit card, or Apple Pay. But also in some eligible countries, you can offer your clients the opportunity to buy now and purchase later with Afterpay and ClearPay. So it's amazing. I recommend if you want to start up an e-shop, check out Squarespace's templates, make your e-shop website, and once you're ready to launch your website or domain, you get 10% off using my code MelliniAngelica when you visit squarespace.com/MelliniAngelica. So if you have a website and you use my code and you make one on Squarespace, be sure to let me know. I'd love to check it out. And it's culminated here in the plaza. So I asked a local what it's all about, and she tells me that it's the 50th anniversary of a very, very important festival here in Montepulciano. So all the different flags represent the different districts of the town of Montepulciano, of which there are 8, she said. The first festival was held in 1974, and you know, they're going to do lots of tricks with the flags, which is pretty cool. But it's just very nice because it feels like, you know, you get to witness a real tradition in one of these towns in Tuscany. I've spotted a few locals in the crowd who've turned up with their district flag draped around their shoulders, or they're even carrying the flag themselves. It's very nice to see the locals get involved. I must say as well, there's something about an Italian man in tights, which is not bad to look at. The town of Montepulciano has a fascinating underground network of wine cellars which are hundreds of years old, where you can also do wine tasting. To see this and more bonus footage, be sure to sign up to my YouTube memberships. The link to join is in the description box below the video. I'm ending a very beautiful day in Montepulciano here in this pretty terrace, and there's a really nice restaurant here, Romantico. It's very romantic, and you've got this stunning view of the Tuscan countryside. So the sun's setting right now and it's absolutely beautiful. Pretty perfect ending to a very nice day. this is another one of the hilltop medieval villages in Vald'orcia in Tuscany. It's called Pienza. It might just be the most beautiful. It's considered to be the perfect example of an Italian Renaissance city, and it's actually the native birthplace of Pope Pius II. He actually commissioned the architect Il Rossellino to completely revamp and replan his ancient home village of Corsignano, and it was renamed Pienza in his honour. So you've just got some beautiful examples of Renaissance buildings, like the stunning Duomo church, which towers over this piazza, which is actually the Piazza Pio II after the Pope Pius II. There's also the Piccolomini Palace just opposite the Duomo. It was commissioned by Pope Pius II, and it was Il Rossellino, the architect, who planned it out, and apparently the gardens have gorgeous views to the vald'orcia, which just surrounds the city. It's also very famous for the Pienza pecorino cheese, so that's something I cannot wait to try. The Grand Piccolomini Palace, with its beautifully symmetrical garden, was a summer residence of the Piccolomini family. Pope Pius II is the most well-known member of the family, and it was him who commissioned the construction of a beautiful Renaissance palace with expansive views of the Tuscan countryside. Upon entering the garden, the stunning Tuscan countryside views can be seen from the balcony and is truly breathtaking, as they seem to spread out to infinity from this vantage point. It quickly becomes apparent why the Pope would have desired to build his summer residence here. Even as we transition to autumn and the last few roses cling onto their stems, the beauty of the gardens take on a new meaning as the green leaves turn to an autumnal gold. There are so many of these shops in Pienza which sell all of the typical products of the region, and of course the most famous thing in Pienza is the pecorino cheese, which is an outstanding quality. So they're all here laid out, they look beautiful. I can't describe the smell inside the shop when you walk in, but it's just a smell of cheese that hits you. They have all types of pecorino cheese flavoured with things like rosemary, black pepper. They've even got a peperoncino one, which is a little bit spicy. So I'm going to try a few different types and see which ones I like, and maybe just buy a piece of cheese. Okay, so this one, grazie, is a peperoncino. So it's going to have a bit of spice to it because it's a chili. Oh, I love it. This one's got rosemary in it. This is truffle pecorino. I'm in cheese heaven. They were all so delicious. I'm going to ask for a slice of each of the cheeses that I tried. When you go back to your hotel and you want a snack, you can just snack on the best cheese ever. Grazie mille. Ciao. One of the best things to do in Pienza is just to wander around these narrow little streets because they're so picturesque and they're so kind of quiet and just takes you back to another era. Beautiful flowers everywhere. It's like a picture perfect village. So I found a beautiful restaurant here in the village of Pienza, and it's lunchtime, so I'm going to try some of the very typical traditional Tuscan dishes. I got myself a glass of beautiful red wine, Brunello di Montalcino. But there are so many little cute restaurants in this town where you can try best food from the region. So the food has come and it looks delicious. I ordered some very traditional dishes here. So the bici pasta al ragù di cinghiale. It's almost like a thicker version of a spaghetti or a bucatini. And cinghiale is the wild boar ragu, so the prized wild boar of the region. So it's a really kind of nice, comforting, meaty pasta. And I also got the pientina soup, which is from here, Pienza, using the traditional white fagioli beans and plenty of the local pecorino cheese. Smells gorgeous. I cannot wait to try it. such a rich pasta. That ragu is just fantastic. It's gorgeous. I just love the way that Tuscan food is quite rich. And it's just great now because it's the changing of the seasons. Autumn's coming. It's a little bit cooler, so these sort of dishes just warm you up. From the town of Pienza, you can take a bike ride or simply wander amongst the surrounding countryside trails like I did, to take in the beautiful views of the vald'orcia up close, with its cypress-lined paths leading to hilltop farmhouses, and the endless sea of rolling green hills turned golden under the Tuscan sun. The best way to admire these views is to venture off-road and take your time wandering through the dirt roads, soaking up the scenic landscapes and unrivaled beauty of this region. This is the beautiful small village of Bagno Vignoni, which is close to Pienza, and it's very famous for its volcanic springs. So the Romans were the ones who built lots of baths and villas around this town. You've got the main one in the central plaza here, which is a thermal hot spring, and you can see the water bubbling because it's very hot. Unfortunately, you can't bathe in it now, but people did used to bathe in it back in the days. And, you know, during the medieval period, that's when this town really sort of took on the look that it has today, because you had a lot of the royalty, like the famous Medici family from Florence and even royalty from Siena that would come here and bathe, because thermal springs are meant to be very good for healing certain diseases or certain ailments like arthritis. And now you've got lots of beautiful stone houses around this main thermal bath. So it is very, very, very picturesque, I would say. It's quite cool because you can still see some of the ruins of the ancient water mills and the tower that used to be visible from everywhere in the vald'orcia. And then you've got this stunning view here of the Tuscan landscape and other hilltop towns. You've also got the thermal waters running all the way down to what looks like another thermal bath. So it's just beautiful views. I followed the spring down, and it's pretty cool because it ends with like a little mini waterfall at the bottom and this really nice thermal bath. And the water is such a beautiful colour. It's like a really gorgeous light blue. Actually, the water's a lot fresher. It's a lot cooler than I imagined. When you think about thermal spring, you think about really hot. It's actually quite fresh, but I like it because it's such a hot day today. Some people are actually swimming in the pool, which is cool, and relaxing. I think it's a little bit cold for me to completely get in, but it's so nice to just dip my feet in. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in Italy before. It's a very unique landscape, very different. I decided to come to the nearby town of sanquiricod'orcia this morning. It's very close to Pienza. It's a very, very cute medieval town, and it's amazing because it's still got all of its fortified walls surrounding the town and the old entrances. So as soon as you get here, you sort of feel like, wow, really going back in time. This town's famous because it's got a lot of artistic and cultural heritage. So there are some amazing gardens here, which are a really prime example of Italian Renaissance gardens. It's a great little day trip to do from Pienza, and you get stunning views over the vald'orcia from here. So this town of sanquiricod'orcia was actually a very important ancient stop because it sits along the pilgrimage route which connected northern Europe to Rome. And you have some beautiful ancient churches like this one, the Gladiator, which is gorgeous because it's kind of Romanesque architecture with elements of the Gothic and the Baroque. You've also got a beautiful palazzo, which is right by this church, and now it is the home of the town council. But of course, these medieval towns in the Tuscan landscape are just full of ancient churches and palazzos where, nobility used to live. The beautiful Italian garden of the Horti Leonini was built in the 16th century by its owner Diomede Leoni, a devotee of ancient and Renaissance art who purchased works in Roman circles on behalf of the Medici. It was Francesco I of Medici himself who gave him a patch of land in the heart of sanquiricod'orcia, where the Horti, which still retain their original appearance today, would later be built. The serenity of the garden as you wander through its maze of green is accentuated with stunning Renaissance and ancient sculptures that seem to blend harmoniously with their enchanting setting. Today, the classical statues are punctuated by a changing mix of contemporary sculptures, which gives this Renaissance garden an intriguing modern element. This road is really pretty. You've got lots of little cute restaurants with tables outside and you get a view of the church. So it's just a nice place to come to order a local red wine and try some of the Tuscan specialties. I ordered the crostini. Crostini is typical Tuscan bread and it's got some of the very local spreadings on the top. So you've got liver pate, which is very traditional. You've got the fagioli white beans with the cavolo nero green cabbage, tomato spread, the porcini mushroom. It is delicious. The route back from sanquiricod'orcia to Pienza is one of the most scenic in all of Tuscany, and there are many beautiful stops along the way which seem to get even more magical as the sun begins to set. This is a perfect time to make a few stops and take in the stunning landscapes which seem to have been frozen in time. Just outside of Pienza is one of the most idyllic locations, which is so beautiful that the final scene of the famous movie Gladiator was shot here. The vast field of golden wheat in the soft glow of the sun and the faint sound of the wind-blown grains swaying gently is the perfect vantage point from which to watch the sunset behind the Tuscan hills. I got back to the town of Pienza for my final evening, just as light rain started to fall. The streets of this small village suddenly were a lot calmer once the day trippers had all departed. I loved taking my time to wander the medieval alleyways, as the soft glow from the lampposts and cosy restaurants gave it a romantic atmosphere different to that of the daytime. It's my last night here in Pienza and I've come to this really local restaurant which has been in the family for many generations, and I'm getting one of the most traditional things in this region, which is the chianina beef. So it's beautiful pieces of the traditional beef topped with the famous pecorino cheese from Pienza, just really fine shavings, and then a side of gorgeous, fresh, in-season grilled vegetables and garlicky, buttery roast potatoes. And I got a gorgeous bottle of the Nobile di Montepulciano. It is the best way to end my time here in Tuscany. The meat from the Tuscany region is just gorgeous. Chianina beef from Chianti is stunning. One of the most traditional and tasty things you can eat when you come to Tuscany. Grazie. I'm ending the night with a very traditional Tuscan dessert, which is cantucci and vin santo. Cantucci is a crispy Italian biscuit. You can get almond or chocolate. I went for the chocolate. And then vin santo is the Italian dessert wine. So you're basically meant to dip the cantucci biscuit in the vin santo and then have a bite. It's a really good combination. Very delicious. This region in Tuscany is like no other I've seen in the rest of Italy. The combination of picturesque ancient medieval villages and breathtaking landscapes gives it a magical feeling, which should be experienced by all of us at least once in our lifetimes.